Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and I hope you are all doing amazingly out there. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. For those of you who celebrate Christmas and Kwanzaa, I hope you've had a great one so far. Um, we had fun. I visited with my niece and nephew on my side of the family for Christmas Eve and had a lot of fun opening gifts with the kids and nice dinner. Nice to catch up with some family that we don't see very often. And yeah, it was a really good time. And Christmas Day, for those of you who are on our Star Cottage Studio Patreon, you may have seen New Year's Day, my mom and dad came up, and along with them, I worked on installing the pellet stove that we have at Star Cottage Studio. We got it a few weeks ago, and we just hadn't had the time to hook it all up and get it taken apart and cleaned out. And it's the same exact model that my mom has. So she was able to really help us and let us know what we needed to do and the kind of things we needed to do to maintenance it and keep it clean and fresh. So it seems to be working. Thank goodness, because it was not an inexpensive purchase. It was a lot less expensive than if we had bought it new, because we did buy it used. But it had a lot of love, let's say that. And you could tell certain pieces had gone missing over the years, apparently with whoever had it before us. And we had like every time we took a panel off, there were like 4 to 6 screws, and always like 2 of them were a different color than all the other ones. So it was something that had been pieced together a little bit. So we weren't sure. We didn't know this when we originally got it. But as we started taking it apart, we learned more about it. But thankfully, it seems to be working. I've not had much time. It took us literally all day. We started at about 1 in the afternoon, and we were there until about 10 at night. Just getting it cleaned up, and there were some things that we had to diagnose to see if they were working, and it was a day. It was a day of it. So that was Christmas Day. Andrew was painting and working on some things at the house while we were doing that. So it was really, it was still Christmas with family, but it was not the typical Christmas many people probably think of. But we did get the pellet stove in, and we've not had a chance to burn it for any long period of time, but we did start it up. It starts up okay. It seems to get out of its startup phase and move into the heating phase just fine. So we seem to be going well with that. So we should be, fingers crossed, along with our split system that we installed at Star Cottage Studio. Between that and the pellet stove, we should be in for some nice warm winter weather, or winter inside while the weather outside is cold. We should have a lot of heat on the inside, we're hoping. So yeah, that's how I spent Christmas Eve with my brother and sister and their kids, and then Christmas Day putting in a pellet stove with my mom and dad. So I mean, it was a good time. We had fun. I did pull my back. We were moving the pellet stove at one point, and they're very heavy. And it must have been the way I pulled something or jostled myself, and I felt my back pop a little bit. Not a fun thing. But I'm doing better now. No major issues, no discs, slipping or anything like that, as far as I can tell. I have this miraculous patch that my mom gave me, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it sounds like pseudoscience. It sounds like it's supposed to be, it looks like copper. It's supposed to be some kind of metal. They took this technology supposedly from antenna companies that make antennas, and it supposedly disrupts or reroutes or somehow does something with the electrical signals to your brain. Now, I know when I heard this for the first time, I was like, it's just a placebo. That's all it is. But my mom, she has some severe sciatica. Her actual leg will go numb from the pinched nerve. And she wears one of these, and she says, I can even bend my back like backwards. And for her to be able to do that is pretty astounding. And I put it on since I pulled my back, and it's amazing. It really, I don't know what's going on. If it's placebo, it's working really well, because I could barely get up and down off of the couch. And I put this on, and within seconds, literally, I didn't feel it anymore, or at least it was very much relieved. And Andrew also tried it because he has back issues he sits very crouched when he paints. And as you know, he's been painting a lot lately. And so I told him, just put it on and see if it works for you. He said for the first time in months, he had no back issues. Now, these are not inexpensive patches. I didn't know this. So the price wasn't something that made me think it was going to work, because I had no idea. I thought these were like $20 or something. They're like $100 or more per patch, but they're infinitely pretty much reusable. You can buy new sticky parts where you can peel off the sticky and add a new sticky when it gets, you can wash the sticky. I've washed it a few times and it sticks just fine. It's pretty amazing. I have no idea how it works. It sounds, like I said, it sounds like, like people put the magnetic bracelets on or the copper bracelets and people are like, that doesn't really work. This works. And I'm not saying that the magnetic and copper things don't, because I know people who swear by them. But this is amazing. So my back feels great, actually, not great, but almost normal. Not that my back ever feels entirely great. I have slight scoliosis, so up in the upper back. So it never feels like perfect, but it feels really good, surprisingly. Let me see. I have it. Diane's asking what it is here. I had it pulled up on my computer. Let me pull this up. Since we're just doing a Let's Chat today, it doesn't matter if I spend some time doing this, right? It is, let's see if I can find, because I was showing it to one of our helpers today too, because her husband is suffering. And I said, they have a 90-day trial. And if you don't like it in 90 days, you can send it back. But it's amazing. It's called Kailo, Kailo. So the website is GoKailo, GoKailo. Now, remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not anyone you should be necessarily listening to health information from. I run a bead store, but all I can say is that honestly, I put this on, and they say you're supposed to put it between the hurt spot and your brain because it's supposed to disrupt the signals or whatever. I don't know. I put it right on the spot that hurts, and it works. The spot hurting really, really reduces the pain within minutes, seconds, really. I don't know. I don't know how it works. If it's placebo, it's working really well. It's working better than any type of placebo has ever worked on me before, because generally it doesn't work. If you're in pain, you're in pain. This, I don't know. I'm not in pain anymore. And if I take it off for any amount of time, the pain comes back. So my back is not fully healed. It's only been a day or two, but it's working. I don't know. I'm going to leave it on. If it works, it works, right? If it works, it works. And like I said, they're not inexpensive, but right now they do have like 40% off of some of them. So you can get a pretty good discount on them. I think for a single kit, you get the patch, you get a carrying kit, and you get 3 little extra stickies for it. And I think right now it's $83.30. So like I said, it's not cheap, but if it can help as much as it's helped, like I would have paid $100 if I knew that this was going to work. I would have definitely, no problem for something like this. I will be getting another one for us so that Andrew and I can both have one, because we're just we have back pain. Andrew hunches a lot. I have slight scoliosis in my upper back. And this has been working really well. Okay, now that I've been chit-chatting, I'm going to scroll back and see some of your comments, because I like when you all talk too. I don't want to just be the only one talking. Hello, Marianne. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Terry. Glad you could join us today. Hannah says, those paintings you just put up of Andrew's are fabulous. Yeah, if you didn't see, five more of Andrew's Heart's Desire series just went in the online store today. We sold one of them already, the owl. The owl sold. So thank you out there. Thank you to all of you who have ordered some of those. You know, sometimes I see Andrew painting a lot. Not a lot, but he paints fairly regularly. And, you know, sometimes it's disheartening to see when he puts all this work into something and then they don't sell. And that's just the way things are. Not everyone's going to, not everyone's going to find something in everything he does. But it's if you have an artist in your family or you are an artist, I think you can kind of understand how it feels to put all of your work into something. I mean, this is not just art either. I mean, this is jewelry making. This is anything you do that comes from the heart, or comes from your talent. It's hard to watch somebody work so hard and do so much and then just have things not go anywhere. You know, I love Andrew's work. I would keep a lot of it if he would let me, but he doesn't let me. We try and sell most of it. And I'm so happy that people are, tuning in, I guess is the kind of what I'm thinking. They're tuning into these Hearts and this Heart's Desire series. I think they're amazing. There are a number of them I wanted to keep, but many of them have sold already. I think there are 10, maybe 10 available out of the 30 that we've done. Let me take a look here. Yes, there are 10 available out of the 30 hearts that he's done so far. This is not all that he has. He is working on more. There will be more to this series coming, but they are selling quickly. So if you see something you like I said today, I put up those last 5 that he did, and the one sold immediately. Before I could even post that they were, before I posted on Instagram that they were available, it was already sold. So definitely, if you like them, I hope you'll grab one. They're only $65 each, and he based this price on there's a group doing a bunch of coaster art. Oh, there goes another one. I just saw one come in. I think that's another heart. So if you're out there, let's see who you are. Our friend Lorraine, looks like. Thank you so much if you're watching this. So one of those has gone again. So now there are 9 left. But if you, what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought there. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I was saying. I was talking about his art. Let's backtrack a little bit. I don't know. If you like them, I hope you'll purchase them. And thank you for all of you out there who have. Yeah, so let's see here. Marianne says, send me some heat. It's -17. Oh my goodness. It was 55 degrees here today. That's what it says. I don't believe that. I guess the feel like was not 55. It's been in mostly the 40s a lot of the day. We had some snow. We actually had some hail. Little hail balls coming down, just little ones, not even that big. But yeah. Diane says, glad you were with family. Yeah, I had a good time with family. -48 in Alaska. That's crazy. One of our locals here, who comes into Beating quite often, she lived in Alaska for a long time, and the story she tells, I don't know. I always thought Alaska would be interesting to see. I don't know if I'd want to live there, though. Brooke says, I'm not seeing any comments on Facebook. That's strange. Maybe it depends where you're watching. As I've said before, I see all the comments, but we are broadcasting in the Design Challenge group. We are broadcasting on the Allegory Gallery page, and we are broadcasting on YouTube. If you are in the Design Challenge group and everyone's commenting on the Allegory Gallery page, they are streaming as separate entities, so you will not see comments between the two. I see them all, though. So it just depends where you're at and where everyone else is at. Okay, let's see here. Hello, Julie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, let's see here. Susan says, my mother-in-law has had severe back issues for months, frequently bedridden times. I think the specialist she's working is using something similar. She has scoliosis too. It works, but imperfectly. I hope someone is able to help her. That's for sure. I hope so too. Back pain is no fun. Any pain, especially chronic, is no fun. No fun at all. Suzanne says, your packers are great. Ordered this morning. Packed this Moana. I don't think that's what you meant to say, but packed already and shipped. That's great. Yeah, they're it's all Barb. Barb does our packing, and she is on top of things, which is great. She's usually faster than me. I haven't even gotten some of this stuff. Today I was bringing down the paintings and bringing down the pearls. So I hadn't even gotten stuff to her. And she's like, do you have it yet? I'm waiting. So we have to keep her going and keep her happy. Let's see here. Hello, Sandra. Thanks for tuning in today. Oh, let's see here. Sylvia says, having back pain is quick to make a person evaluate every move you need to make in a day, right? Yeah. Getting up and down from the couch, sitting down in the car has not been easy. It has not been easy, but I definitely, this patch has given me some relief. So I have to say, I like it. I like it. Brooke said she couldn't see comments, but had to close and come back. Yeah, sometimes for some reason, Facebook, you have to reset it sometimes. Hello, Nancy. Good to see you here. Let's see here. Marcy says, just got here. What is the back thing we're talking about? Mine is upper back, work in kitchens and make jewelry and weave baskets. There's spring and summer gardening, so anything that relieves relief is so anything that gives relief is great. Love Andrew's pieces. We are talking about, oh, I just lost it now. This patch that I'm wearing called Kylo. It's GOKAILO.com. And it has helped my mom with her severe sciatica. It has helped me with my back that I just pulled. It's helped Andrew. It's amazing. It's a patch that can last months or years. There's no electricity going in it. There's no battery like some of those other patches. There's no medicine on it. It's supposedly technology from antenna companies where they reroute electricity and deal with those things. And it's supposed to help block the pain signals to your brain. I don't know if that's what but it works. I don't know. So Marcy, it's not cheap. Right now they're on sale for $83 or so a piece, but I would pay, I mean, they're normally $120. I would pay $120 for the back relief it has given me already. So, and they have a 90-day trial. So it's a money back guarantee. If you don't like it, send it back. Julie says, I use lidocaine patches for my back, quite effective, but they do contain drugs. When my back hurts, I don't really care as long as it works. Yeah, Andrew wears like Salonpas and some of those kind of patches. Not usually the lidocaine because I think that it reacts with him funny. He sometimes can get rashes and stuff from it. But he uses the menthol like ones, whatever that is. And he usually wears them like every day. He usually has at least 2 to 3 to 4 of them on his back in various places every day. He wore this patch for a day and he had nothing else that he needed. His back didn't hurt him. It works. It works. Like I said, whether it's placebo or not, it's working for everyone that I know that has tried it. My aunt uses it. She's actually the one that bought them for my mom. My mom gave me this one that I'm wearing now. And my whole family that has tried it has just sworn by it, and it works for us. So I would try that. Sandra says, I feel that pain when you put your art out there. Will it sell? Right? That's one of the hardest things, I think, as a maker that I've seen. And even when the small things that I've done, you always worry if what you do is going to resonate with people. And I'm so glad that his art has resonated with people and you all really like these hearts. I love them. There's more to this series coming, so definitely stay tuned. Lena says, I was going to wait to see them all and they keep selling out. I'm probably missing them waiting. Yeah, I think he has another, we've done 30 so far, and I think he's going to try and do another 30. So I would definitely say if you like them, get them, because there's 9 available out of the 30 right now. The rest of them have all sold. The rest of them have all sold out. Oh, thanks, Hannah, for putting the link up for the Heart's Desire series. The landscapes, Lena says, are great too. I love the landscapes, but honestly, I think we've only sold 1 or 2 of them. I don't know why. I think they're beautiful. They're definitely different than his other stuff, but I think they're really nice, and they can go anywhere. I think they're just really, they're useful in any part of your house, really, or anywhere, your office, wherever you want to put them. Suzanne says, I hate you all. It's so hot here. Yeah, down south, I don't, nope. I like my regular. Right now, we're at 45 to 55 in a day. That's still a little bit warm for me for winter. I would rather have, winter. It's winter time, but it was so weird that we had no snow on Christmas. Normally we have some snow. We had no snow. It was like 50 some degrees here on Christmas. We had a ton of rain. If that rain would have been snow, we would have had probably feet of snow. But yeah. Sandra can only see her own comment on Facebook. You might want to refresh that page. It seems to be happening to some people today. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. I finally got to that comment. The thing that I forgot, talking about Andrew pricing his paintings on a group thing. Yeah, so they're $65, the hearts. He based them, there's another group that they're making like coaster art, like the size of coasters, like cup coasters that you set your cup on. And they're like famous artists and some not so famous artists, and they're all in this group collection of coasters, and they all priced, no matter how famous they were, at $65. So, and many of them sold out. So we thought that was a good price point. Andrew worked really hard on each one of these. Some of them take much longer than others. Andrew likes to work on the details a lot. So, but we thought $65, that should be doable for mostly anyone. We try to keep, Andrew tries to keep his art reasonable so anyone can afford it. When Andrew was making art in school and in New York, he sold paintings for tens of thousands of dollars. And that's no joke. That's no lie. He sold them for tens of thousands of dollars. So there are certain collectors out there that have some of his paintings that go back to that time period. But as we've had the bead store, we always have tried to make things as affordable as we can for anybody to try to get. And now I know we have some paintings of his now for $750, like the one in the store. We've had different price points. It's not obtainable for everyone. We know that. But when he does make art, he does try to make art that that there's always something that everyone can afford. And we figured $65, it is still a stretch for some people. I know that. It's a stretch for us, especially at this time of year, after all the gift buying for kids and stuff that we've done. But it's important to us, and to him especially, that his art is affordable and can find the homes that they're meant to go to. So yeah, thank you, Sylvia. That's what I was totally forgetting. Let's see here. How's everyone? Patty's here. Thank you so much. Trace says, my daughter's shoulders were torn and repaired from doing stalls and wrangling horses when she was a manager. Never will be right. That's hard. That is hard. Hello, Lydia. Good to see you here. I hope you're doing well. It was good to see you the past few days. I've seen you a number of times. I hope you're doing okay. I heard you got a cold or something. So I hope you're doing better. Says, I think I need this. Yeah, sit and chat with us. Sit and chat with us. Let's see here. Marcy says, I get chemically induced eczema from certain patches. Your tech patch sounds like a go, maybe. My mom, she told me, she swore up and down. She actually told me, she said, I'm actually angry that this works because it shouldn't. Like, by all, you look at it and it's like, this shouldn't work. Like, this is pseudoscience. But it works. So, and she said that to me, and I'm like, okay, let's see. And my mom does have some severe back pain and leg pain. She broke her leg in a motorcycle accident. She has some severe arthritis in her hands and things, and in her body. And if it works for her, I should have known it works, but it does. It does. It works for us. Sandra says, if he paints sea turtles, I will buy it. I got the sea turtle. I saw that. Thank you so much. Those paintings should mostly start shipping tomorrow, I think. I don't think Barb got any of them out today. We were working on some of the pearls and some of the other orders we had in, but I think most of the hearts will start shipping out tomorrow. So you should see those shipping soon. And I doubt he's going to do any more sea turtles. I think the idea he wants to do behind these hearts is every single one is a different creature or kind of different, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what he has planned. I never know. People ask me things like, what's he going to do? And I don't know. He has his idea book, and I know he's been writing down ideas in the idea book. But other than that, that's all I know. I don't have access to the idea book. Marcy says, I like the landscape paintings. Thank you. I really do too. I really, really do. Let's see. Sarah says, I love all the hearts. I was looking at your website on my Kindle while watching live on my phone. Thank you so much for checking it out, Sarah. We really appreciate it. Marcy got a lot of rain last night in Iowa. Yeah, it's been raining here for days. Since Christmas, it's pretty much been raining on and off. When was Christmas? I guess it's only been a day or two, right? So yeah, it's been raining a good bit here though. Sarah said, met friends for lunch wearing a t-shirt and sandals. Then we went for ice cream in San Antonio. Nice. Nice. Hannah says, holy cow, the landscapes are only $45 each. Look like and they look sort of like amethyst crystals. Yeah, so the smaller landscapes, I think they're 4x4. They're only $45. I like them a lot. They're really cute. And some of the bigger ones are really nice too. They do go up in price, but really nice. And I think really we try to price them well for as much work that went into them. You know, you see something that looks simple in painting. And some of these landscapes look simple, but it's not always simple to get to that final product, right? So we try and price them as best we can. Probably underpriced actually for the amount of time that Andrew spends if you'd work out his time per hour on each painting. But we, again, want them to be affordable for people. Let's see here. Lennis loves the purple dusk hills by the sea and the lovely garden wall and gate. I love the garden wall and gate. I'm really kind of might keep that one. We'll see. We'll see. There's another one too. It might be that the purple hills. There's another one that I really love, and I can't think which one it is right now. Oh, let's see here. All right. So what's everyone else doing out there? How's everyone else feeling? How was your holiday so far? Whether you celebrate, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, how's it going? Or how did it go? I know Kwanzaa is still happening, but we've had a good time. Did you get anything good? If you give gifts or get gifts, what was your favorite thing that you gave, and what was the favorite thing that you got? How about that? Let me know in the comments. I have my coffee here. I'm going to drink my coffee. My decaf, hopefully decaf. Hopefully they made it right. Sometimes they forget that I'm a decaf person. And Marianne is still quietly celebrating. Nice. I kind of do too. I take this time in between Christmas, because I'm not really religious, but I celebrate Christmas in that it is a time for a family to come together. It is a time to, try to see the best in the world and the best in everyone else. That's kind of what Christmas is to me. We always had a very, very happy Christmas. We would celebrate at my one grandparent's house on Christmas Eve. And that's actually the house that I went to, that my brother now has, that we went to on Christmas Eve. So it was nice. And we used to celebrate Christmas Day with my dad's side of the family. And they're kind of all spread out now. So we don't celebrate so much together there since my grandparents passed. But on my mom's side, we're all live within probably a half hour of each other for the most part. And so we try to get together for holidays like that. So, but I try to take the time, between Christmas and New Year's to kind of be sort of leisurely. that's why I did this Let's Chat today. I was going to force myself into, finding things to show you. But I said, we haven't done this in a while. I keep promising we're going to do this. I want to do this. So we're going to do a Let's Chat today. And I think it's just a perfect way to kind of ease into the week here after Christmas, if you celebrate, or Kwanzaa, and just kind of, breathe and kind of plan. I kind of try to plan my future. I don't know if that's what y'all do or not. I was listening. I've been trying to listen to more podcasts lately because I do drive about a half hour or so on Tuesdays to go to my other job. And so I try and listen to some podcasts. And one of them was talking about, how we all set resolutions and things for the new year, goals for the new year. And the one topic, and I can't remember the word that she used, but the one was saying, don't so much set goals. Because, when you set a goal, if you don't reach it, you feel like you didn't do your best or that you could have done something better. And really, she said that you just, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact terminology she used, but she said, just set ideas. Just pick like 3 ideas that you want to work toward in the new year. Because when you fall short of goals, you feel bad about yourself and that brings you down. But if you fall short, you can't fall short of an idea, right? You can't fall short of just wanting to practice something or wanting to, have this, I want to say goal, but it's not a goal. So I'm doing a bad job of saying it. And I need to find the podcast again because I've been listening to a lot, so it's getting lost. But so I'm trying to take that idea and just focus on ideas for the new year. Yeah, Sylvia, set intentions. And that's kind of what they were talking about. Setting your intention, because you can't fall short, of that. Like you're just intending to do it. You're hoping to do it. It's kind of like the idea of doing something. Instead of setting goals, kind of set your intention on something. And don't overwhelm yourself. Don't do these hard, I'm going to lose 25 pounds by March, or, don't set these goals that are so hard and fast and you either make it or, don't, because that's not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody. And as Suzanne says, yes, enjoy the progress, enjoy the process, right? So as Sylvia said, if you set the intention, just pick 3 intentions that you want to kind of work toward. And, you can't be upset by an intention because, sometimes our goals change too, right? And sometimes your goals that you set should be longer term than what you make them out to be, right? As we see in business, we set goals in the business and it's hard sometimes because, you want to do 150% better, right? But sometimes if you try and do that in too short of a time, it might be impossible. You don't know what's going to come up. Who knew COVID was going to happen, right? So things like that can always throw a wrench in things. And if you have that goal and you fall short of a goal, you're going to be upset and you're going to feel down about yourself and you're going to feel down about even trying to attempt that goal again. But if you just set an intention to kind of eat better once in a while, right? You don't have to say, I'm going to eat all vegetables now. I'm going to go vegan. I'm going to go on a keto diet and I'm going to do that only. But if you just set the intention of eating better once in a while, that's not that hard, right? If you do it once or twice a week, you've done that goal, right? Or that intention, right? So I was listening to that and I thought that was a really good thing. Let's see, what's everyone saying here? Let's go back to what everyone's doing. Let's see. Sandra says, bought one of his 4x6 paintings, and the reason I bought it was it reminds me of my grandparents' property, which had a stream running through it. Such good memories. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I very much loved my grandparents, and anything that reminds me of them, I get it. I would buy it too. Marcy's still trying to come up with freaking turkey recipes. Got to see the grandsons for the first time in 6 weeks. One is just 2 months. Oh, that's sweet. That's awesome. Sarah says, I worked on Christmas, so I'm going to see my parents and brother either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm on vacation until the 7th. That's nice. not nice you had to work on Christmas, but some of us do, right? I've been in retail most of my life, and I have worked Christmases before. Um, so there are a lot of professions, nursing, medical, retail, that you have to work on Christmas, but I'm glad you're getting some vacation time. On Christmas Eve, Susan says, our friends organized a get-together for all of us, strays at the local Syrian restaurant. That's nice. So freakishly warm, we sat outside and enjoyed falafel and hummus. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Andrew and I Andrew was really the one who did it. When we were in New York, we used to have, anytime at Christmas, we would invite anybody who didn't have a family to go to, or, anyone in the area. They might be too far away, or they couldn't get home for Christmas or the holidays. And Andrew would always open up his apartment and do that. And so when we moved here to Pennsylvania, the first few years, we did the same thing. If we had any friends around here, or anybody who, couldn't make it to wherever their parents were or their friends were, and they were invited over, and we'd have them over. In the last few years, we haven't done a Christmas celebration ourselves. We just go to other people. So we haven't done it, but I do like those. And I love that idea. As you say, the strays. I love that idea. And we always try to make sure that, that people we know have somebody during that time of year. It can be a really hard time of year now for a lot of people, and for many different reasons. And, it doesn't matter what those reasons are. But that's one of these other reasons I want to do these chats once in a while, because it just lets us reach out in a way that if we were selling something to you today, we wouldn't necessarily have that time. Or it's not built into it, I guess. We always have the time. If you need us, let us know, but I do like that idea. And I love the idea of sitting outside when it's December, but I kind of don't like that, because I know that that's a whole global issue, and it's not a great issue to have, that it's so warm right now. But hopefully the powers that be are working on all of that, right? We do our best. Susan says, love the chats. Me too. So does other Susan out there. Let's see here. Sylvia says, my intention is to live a fuller life. That just came to me. That's nice. That's nice. I also get this email or this text. I'm looking for my phone and I'm talking to it. I get this text, and I can't remember the woman's name. I signed up for it because she does these kind of daily texts that kind of, as entrepreneurs especially, and people who are, probably merging the business and social and home life so much. She throws out these little nuggets of wisdom or questions to ask yourself daily. And she had an entire one about kind of a fuller life, or I wish I could read it, but I can't because I'm talking to you on my phone. But let me see if it's on my computer. And I'm probably not going to find it because it was a few days ago. I can't find it now. It's not coming up. But anyway, that reminded me of that. Her name is Minda Zetland, Minda Zettlin, Minda Zetland. And I like her I like the daily little sparks. And sometimes they don't really mean much to me, depending on, not everything resonates with everybody. But some of them are really good to think about. There it is. So she says every year to choose one word to focus on over the next 12 months. So again, this is just focusing on a word. It's not setting a goal or anything like that. And she says, you can find that word by asking yourself 3 questions. What do I need? Not what do I want, but what do I need? What's in my way? And what has to go? And then that way, following those examples, try to figure out what your word for 2022 will be. I think that's nice. I think that's nice to think of. She says her word in 2021 was light. She needed light, whatever that meant to her. But I think that comes up with a very personal thing. And I think those are some questions that I'm going to be, thinking about over the next few days to see what my word for 2022 may be. And we've asked this before. We actually have said in the new year to our followers and all of you out there to pick a word to focus on. Nancy has one goal, and we are hoping the best for you. I do hope you get there. We're all behind you here. We all are wishing the best for you. You have all of our support out there. Someone's joining in late. That's okay. That's okay. Hannah says, can you tell me, William, the notes you put up on screen with the gallery name and the comments, do you do that through Facebook? No. This is done, like I put your comment up here. Where am I? Right here. That's done through StreamYard. So StreamYard.com, StreamYard, StreamYard.com. You can hook it into, the plan we have is up to 3 social media outlets. So we stream to the Allegory Gallery page. Then we usually pick one of our groups. It might be the Great Beat Extravaganza. It might be like today is the Design Challenge group that we're streaming in. And then we pick our YouTube channel. It doesn't stream to Instagram. Instagram doesn't allow any plug-in streaming at all yet. But you can do that, and then you can throw up comments and you can throw up little banners and all that using StreamYard. So that's how we do it. I really like StreamYard. It records these as well in the background, so you can save the recordings if you want to download them and use them somewhere else. I know you can also download through Facebook, but I think Facebook crunches it down. So you get a better quality if you pull it off of StreamYard. But a lot of people in the Great Beat Extravaganza use StreamYard, and that's how I found it through some of the other companies using it. I had tried a few other ones. There's one called Switcher Studio. And if you are dealing mainly with iPads and iPhones, Switcher Studio is pretty good too. But it typically, Switcher Studio feels like to me, it's more made for like 2 people at least, one behind the camera and one kind of organizing what's happening on screen. Whereas StreamYard seems pretty easy to work with one person. I can generally do most of it here pretty easily. So I recommend it. I like it a lot. Diane said, we had a pleasant Christmas day here with strays. It was wonderful getting to know each other. That's awesome. I like that. Marianne says, I intend to live my life according to the 9 noble virtues. Nice. Very nice. Oh, let's see here. What else is everyone saying out there? Also found out that we have an unwelcome guest. I've been in this house for over 18 years, and for the first time ever, I saw a mouse. It must be a very stupid one, as we have 2 tomcats who are hunters. Sometimes those mice get in, right? We used to grow up, I grew up by a lake with fields all around our house, pretty much. Our neighbors were a few fields away. And we would see mice often. We had cats all the time, cats and dogs in the house. But every once in a while, and fairly regularly, because of all the fields and things, we'd see a mouse running outside or sometimes in the house, just passing through. And, I don't mind the idea of a mouse, but they can be destructive. They can be very destructive. So they're not necessarily good to have in your house. But I also don't like to kill anything. So if the cats get it, I guess that's the cat's issue. But yeah, I get it. Growing up where I grew up, like I said, we had a number of mice that we'd see, and sometimes you'd open a drawer and they'd like jump out at you. It was scary as a kid, but it's kind of funny now that I think about it. But we were so in the middle of just open fields. I mean, not open, I guess they were open, but they're tall grasses and all the wild flowers and all that were in them. It's beautiful, but mice did definitely come with that. So I get it. Sylvia says, I like a daily positive text or email. Even if it doesn't resonate with me, I may at another time, or I can share it with another person. And just reading something positive is a good thing for me either way. I agree. That's why I signed up for it. I think I get like 30 days free, and then I don't know if it's $2.99 a month or something. So I'm going to see if I'm going to keep it. But I figured I'd try it and see what it's like. And I found her. I think she has a podcast. Sometimes I can't remember how I find people, which is not good. But I think she has a podcast or something like that I found her on. So I've really liked them so far. Marianne has an app called Moonly that has daily affirmations. That's nice too. That's nice. I've been using, what's the app called? Sleep? Is that what it's called? I feel like that's what it's called. I don't know if that's right. Do I have my, let's see. Is that what it's called? That's not what it's called. Now I don't know what it's called. I have another app anyway that I listen to going to bed. Calm. That's the app. Calm. And I listen to some of the meditations before I go to bed. I'm trying to, that's it. Yep, Brooke, Calm. That's it. Hello. Oops. Hello, Amy. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry, just reading some other comments. So Calm, I got it for free with my American Express credit card. They were doing a free promotion that they gave you a year of it for free. So I started testing it out, and I really, really like it. So I listen to Calm a lot of times before bed. I'm trying to be better with my health and everything. I'm watching YouTube channels, and I love YouTube. I go in deep sometimes. But I'm watching some YouTube channels and about the importance of sleep. I used to be very proud of being a night owl, and I still am. It's not, some people are built that way. But I also used to be proud of being able to get 4 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep. And as I've gotten older, that doesn't work anymore. And from what I'm hearing and what I'm reading, it doesn't work for most people. You may think it does. But really, there's a very, very, very small subset of the population that can live on 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night and not be detrimental. And so I'm trying to adjust my sleep schedule. I'm trying to set, that's one of my intentions for the new year, is to set like a bedtime routine and start doing the same things before bed, drinking my tea, journaling a little bit, meditating a little bit, getting ready and getting my mind ready for rest, and then resting earlier and trying to get to sleep earlier, and getting a full night's rest. That's my intention, being a little bit more healthy, working out, exercising a little more in the new year. I don't really have any goals behind that, and that's kind of the important part, I think, that I'm learning now, and what I'm listening to people talk about is I don't have any goals. I'm not trying to force myself to gain so much muscle mass or lose so much weight. I'm just trying to exercise a little more. I'm just trying to set a routine for myself, have my tea at a certain time, or meditate or journal more often. Trying not to be hard and fast with the rules, just trying to do more of this and make it something that I enjoy, because I do enjoy all of those things, but I don't do them. Why? I don't know. There are lots of things I think we enjoy that we just know we should do and don't do. But I have found by journaling the last few nights or so that I'm journaling like a brain dump. I'm just writing whatever comes to mind, and it really helps me with my anxiety and laying in bed and wondering all the things that I could do or should be doing. And it has really helped to put those on paper, or in my case, on screen, and just dump them there and let them go, right? I can come back to them tomorrow. I don't have to focus on them tonight. And that's kind of what has been happening, and what I found has been really helpful. And so I've been using the Calm. I use the Calm often, the Calm app, for the nighttime stories. Like they tell you these stories. Harry Styles does one that I really like, and they just tell you stories and you fall asleep to them. It works. I don't know. It's nice. It's kind of like when you're sitting in front of the TV and you just start nodding off. That's kind of what it is. It's just a story that you can nod off to. It doesn't matter if you get to the end or not. And they just kind of talk about the places where they are and just kind of describe the scenery. Like it's just kind of benign. It's just kind of, there is a point to the story kind of, but it's mainly about the journey, which is kind of what your life should be more about, right? That's what I think. I need to make mine more about the journey than all these points that I'm trying to hit. But I do like that app, and I've been using that more often. And now I'm getting into the meditation parts of the app a little bit, and it's been nice. It's been nice. So that's kind of my intention for the new year, is to try to meditate, journal more, do these things that I like to do, and make time for them. Now that we have some help at the store, it's easier for me to find a little bit of time to do these things for myself. We got put into, since the beginning of the store, Andrew and I have been like, all of your intention, all of your energy has to go into keeping this going. And while that's still kind of the case, we're starting to find some time. Andrew's finding more time to paint and make his paintings, which is great. I'm trying to find more time for the things that I've always wanted to do, which is meditate and journal and I love keeping track of my data. Like Marianne says, I try and do 10,000 steps a day. I have a good stretch going. That's great. I love data. So like when my Apple Watch tells me that I've burned this many calories or I've taken this many steps, or the heart rates I love that stuff. So I'm trying to get more into that and to access my data a little more and find out where I can improve and the things that can be good for me. Some people hate that. They don't want to know. I like to know. This kind of quantifies things for me, and I can see what I did a day before that I fell asleep really easily versus a day before that I didn't, right? It can kind of help you figure out how to do that. And that's what I want to put my intention toward in the new year, is to look at that data a little more and to kind of figure out where I can do better. That's all. We always want to maximize our brain power, right? We don't have, I feel like some days I don't have a lot of it at all. So I try to maximize my brain power, and that's what I try. That's what I'm going to try to do. Let's see, what's everyone saying here? Susan got a live trap for it. It startled me and I screamed. Now I'm in an urban environment. I don't flinch at shots, but I screamed at a small mouse. Go figure, right? That's the thing. It is. I lived in New York, for a while, and you hear gunshots, you hear people screaming, you hear, everything in New York can come up at any time. And you saw a mouse in the apartment or a cockroach, which I really don't like, that would freak you out, right? That would freak you out. Marianne says, data can be good. I do steps, activity, and sleep tracking. Yeah, I want to get more into my sleep tracking. The hard part about sleep tracking is I wear an Apple Watch, and it does charge pretty quickly, but for me to have it through a day and then through a night, it's a little bit hard. And I'm not good about taking it off and charging it for a few minutes so that I can get through the night. So I need to build that in where I take it off, charge it a little bit, and kind of at a time when I'm not doing a lot, and charge it for sleep. But there's also this ring. I don't know if anyone has an Aura ring. I think it's Oura, Aura ring. And apparently they've gotten a lot of entrepreneurs and CEOs and stuff to wear it for publicity and sports people and all that. And they are, Hannah is leaving us. Internet is being spotty here. Happy New Year to you, Hannah. Have a great one if we don't see you before then. So I've been looking at this Aura ring, and it looks really cool because it really tracks your sleep. And it can tell you, or it tries to tell you, when you've gotten into REM sleep or when you're light sleeping. Like it delves a little bit more deeply into the phases of sleep. And that's kind of what I want to look at. But it has awful customer service reviews, like awful. So I'm like, I don't know. Everyone's saying it pretty much is one of the best sleep trackers, other than getting like the masks and the electrodes and all that. But it has awful customer support. So it's hard. It's hard to make that decision whether I want to buy that or not. But if any of you out there have it, let me know if you've been trying it or if you like it. I'm always looking for those. Like, I love gadgets, and as many of you know, I love technology. So I love trying to find things that can quantify your life a little bit. That's just the way I am. But how about you out there? Is there anything that you are suddenly getting into or find yourself, kind of thinking a lot about? Like, I've been thinking about this journaling and this meditation stuff and trying to get a bedtime routine for a number of months now. And sometimes you find things and you're interested in them and then they go away. This hasn't gone away. So anyone out there also thinking of things that you would like to do for yourself, and things that have been like kind of on your mind a lot that you want to maybe push toward in the new year? Sandra says, I have a sleep number bed. We tried a sleep number bed, but it was in a hotel. There was a hotel we went to and they had sleep number beds. And I don't know if it was just because it was majorly used a lot, but it was the loudest thing. When you had to move the bed, it made such a ruckus. Like, it was loud. So I don't know if they're all like that and just you set it and kind of forget it, but there are ones that like kind of adjust for you in your sleep, right? If you toss or turn or something. I can't imagine being woken up by the sound of that bed. Maybe it's just like I said, because it was in a hotel and it was used quite a lot, or maybe they didn't have the nice edition because it was a hotel edition. I don't know, but it was very, very loud. Sandra says that's not normal. It's probably one of the older beds. That may have been because it was incredibly loud. I could not have adjusted that without waking up the whole room. Like, it was one of those things. So, but I hear that a lot of people swear by them. So I figure it must not be the normal case for them, because I know a lot of people have said they really like them. So what's everyone else doing? Are we done talking? You all done chatting? I've done a lot of chatting today. I don't want to bore everybody, but I can keep chatting for quite a while. Sandra says, mine is so quiet, never hear it. That's good. That's good. Because I know, because I think they show in the commercials that they kind of can adjust for you as you toss and turn or need it to at night, or if you start snoring or something. I don't know how it works, but I was like, if that adjusted in the middle of the night on me, I would wake me out of a deep sleep. Let's see. Lena says, my friend got me a TheraBox for my birthday. It's all about self-care and mindfulness. They have a sleep box I have been coveting. You can get it without a subscription, and it has a sleep journal. Nice. And a happy birthday, by the way. I think, was that yesterday? I can't remember the actual day. I hope I said something on Facebook already, but happy birthday if I didn't. Yeah, I love these box subscription things. That's one I haven't heard of, though, TheraBox. I'm going to have to look into it. I have these ones for pens and paper because, I'm a stationery nerd. So I have those that I have, like, I want to pull the trigger on them, but some of them are expensive, right? Tomorrow is your birthday. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was the 26th or the 28th. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. So yeah, like, I'm a stationery nerd, but some of these boxes, these subscriptions can get expensive, right? And we don't have a lot of money at any one time. Having a store is not for the faint of heart. And it's not for us if we want to get rich, right? But I mean, we make a good living. I can't complain about that. I love the store. I love talking with all of you out there. But it's not like working for a big corporation where I could, make $60,000 to $80,000 in a year and just, go in, forget your business when you leave. You never forget your business in your own small business. But these boxes, some of them I would love to get, but signing up for a monthly thing, that would be hard. And that's one of those things we've thought about doing, a monthly subscription here, whether it's be the kits or artwork or something like that. But we know how hard it is. Sometimes you have money and sometimes you don't, right? And we never want to put anyone in that predicament where they feel like, they're locked into something like that. So we haven't done it yet. If any of you are interested, whether you're watching this on replay or watching it live here now, if you're interested in a subscription thing like that, let us know. Because if that's something that would be easier for you, like with the kits or anything like that, let us know. But that's why we haven't done it, because I know locking yourself into something like that is not easy. And nowadays, everyone's doing the subscription everything. You can get everything per month with a certain small amount, right? I have a lot of subscription things now because we don't have real cable, for example. We have the internet, and we have each app is its own subscription, right? So we have a lot. So I know what it's like. Let's see here. Susan says, I only get subscription boxes for my cats, dogs, and parrot. We have a Chewy subscription for the cats. Definitely. Oh, Lennis posted the link for that box. Thank you. I'm going to check it out once I can check it out. Suzanne says, are there any movies people want to see? There's that movie that's on, is it Netflix, that Don't Look Up? People have been talking about that a lot. I have not seen it. But I think from what I'm understanding, it has to do kind of with the end of the world and people not, if you like, I guess a meteor or something. I may be totally wrong, but from what I understood, it was like a meteor is going to hit the earth or something, and people are like, just don't look up and it won't happen. Or, like they have that kind of attitude, like it's not really going to happen. And so a lot of people have been talking about that. And so I think I might have to watch it. Susan says, I'm watching Doctor Who episode Blink. I've seen it numerous times and it still scares me. Yeah, that's the angels, right? The statues. I think that's the one. Don't blink. That's a hard one. And I every time something like that comes up in shows like that, I try to not blink when the characters are on screen or whenever they're doing it. And it's like, oh my goodness, I couldn't do it. I'd fail. I would fail. Let's see here. Amy says, the library gets me every time. I'm not sure. A real library, or is that an episode of something? I don't know. I don't know. I'm losing track. Talking about too many things. But yeah, I think I've talked about what I thought I was going to talk about. Doctor Who, the library. I can't remember that one. I don't remember the titles very often. I'm not good at remembering episodes generally, but the ones with the angels, I forget what they're called, but I like that episode. I really did. But then they started getting a little bit too much with those. Like they started to overuse them. And then once they start overusing something, I think it loses its power, right? So they started to use those angels a lot. They started to come back around, and I just started like the original, which I think is the Blink one. That's the good one, right? That's the good one. Let's see. Susan's looking to see The Matrix and Spider-Man, Nightmare Alley, and Last Night in Soho. Yeah, I want to see The Matrix. I do want to see The Matrix. I haven't seen that yet. I don't know if we saw the Spider-Man. I'm very bad with remembering what I actually watched. I think like watching TV for me is a form of meditation in a way. It allows me to shut my brain down, which is one of the few things in the world that let me shut my brain down, because normally I'm an overthinker. But if I can get into a series of something and just kind of watch it and not have to think about it, it also stops me from thinking about anything else generally. So I kind of zone out when I watch TV shows and series. And I don't sometimes remember them. I can watch like half of a movie without realizing I've already watched it sometimes. But it's serving its purpose for me. I end up just blanking out, right? Susan says Spider-Man is at the theater in Ligonier. Nice. I thought I saw that coming through. Um, I don't know if I'll get there or not, but I hear that's a good one too. So yeah, what else? Anything else? Anything else people have going on out there in the world? How are y'all doing? You okay? I hope you're okay out there. We're doing okay, I have to say. Yeah, we're okay. You know, it's kind of that time, like I said, it's kind of that time of year for me. I'm seeing all these memes on Facebook right now where it's saying like the time between Christmas and New Year's, you should just take off. Like shut down, stay in, do things for yourself. And I think that's really a good thing. I think after these, especially these past 2 years, I know we've all been in a lot, but I think it's really good to, if you can, take that time to do so and kind of, sleep in if you need to, or take a nap in the middle of the day if you want to, or sit down and journal and write things out. I'm really, I'm really big into that right now. I just am. And I think it's very important to get your brain, get that stuff out so that you can make way for new things and clear out the old, dust out those cobwebs and start something new, right? So that's what I'm planning to do for the new year. Um, Amy read 9 books yesterday. You are well on your way to relaxing, it looks like. I like that. And yeah, I think Suzanne says stay home with your cats. That's my plan. Mostly I'll be coming to the store here, and I got my other job on Tuesday, but I'm going to, I'm not going to make myself crazy here. I had some stuff I wanted to put in the online store today, some pearls and things that you all got to see already. So I was going to add them to the online store. I didn't get to it, and that's okay. That's okay. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I have to clean up the house a little bit. It's getting a little bit wild. So I plan on going home tonight and maybe heating up some leftovers and doing some kitchen cleaning a little bit. That's probably what I'll do tonight. Not too much of it, but a little bit, I don't need to do everything, right? We got to take it easy on ourselves. Sometimes we feel like we have to do everything at once, and I do that a lot. But I'm trying to learn that we do what we do. You get a little bit of your work done, right? You get a little bit of that extra. The kitchen cleaning is extra for me. This work is more important. This is what we live off of. But if I can take a bite out of that extra work, that makes me feel better and allows me to feel like I'm doing something more. So that's my plan, doing a little bit of cleaning and then just enjoying time with my cats tonight. That's pretty much it. So yeah, let's see here. Susan says, I want to get back to myself. I've been through a lot in the last 3 years. It's time I get back to being me. That is definitely important. I understand that. I guess, we have a store. We love it. We love all of you out there, but it takes you into it, right? You are pulled into your work in that case. And a lot of people, no matter where you work, whether you have your own business or not, a lot of people can get sucked into their work, right? And or maybe you have health issues, or maybe you had some loss, or there are a lot of things that can take you out of you. And I think that's why I'm trying to get into the journaling and the meditation, because I need to get back to me too. And I used to do a lot of language study. I used to do more reading. I used to do a lot more writing. And those are all things that for the last probably 10 or so years, I've not really done much of. So that's what I understand, Susan. That's part of the reason I'm trying to create a bedtime routine, is to fit in those things that I like to do and to also try to get more sleep so that I can be a more productive and more aware self. Let's see here. I wonder if an aspect of COVID-19 gave us time to reflect and start the implementing of self-care? I think it did. It's been an awful thing for a lot of people. A lot of people have lost a lot of people. And I never want to turn that into something good, because it's not something good. But to see any bright side of it, I think it did. A lot of people couldn't go to their jobs, so they worked from home, and they found out how nice that was and how it was actually possible when for years employers were saying, no, it's not possible. Well, suddenly they made it happen, right? And a lot of people, based on that, realized how much their work may interfere with their personal life, or how much they might quote unquote bring home when they're already home. And finding, I think, that need for division, and that need to kind of separate your work from yourself. And I think even if you are a small business, or even if you are an artist who your work is you, I think there's still time and still space for some division when you need it, right? There's a lot of talk going on about making your hobbies a business, and whether that's a good idea or whether that's a bad idea. And I think over the years, people have just been trying to make ends meet, and anything that they can do well has been funneled into trying to make money. And while I think that's great, I think people should do, they should do what they enjoy doing. But I also think in doing that, I know I personally have lost track of doing some of the things I like to do just for fun, right? I used to play with, doing movie video editing and stuff, and just doing that for fun and just trying new things. And it got to the point where editing our tutorials and some of our videos became so much work. It's just work on top of work, right? It wasn't fun anymore. And I kind of pulled away from actually doing them because of that. But I think that with COVID, I think people have started to look at their life and just, not only from the point of, we're home now, we all are together, we have a little bit, maybe more time because you're not commuting as much as you used to, but also just from the fact of, seeing what's missing. And sometimes when you are in one location, if you're working from home and you're also, a parent, or you're living in the same place you work, it starts to blend, and it really brings that overworking possibly to the forefront, right? And I think that's been happening, and I think that is a bright side to looking at all this. Not that there's, you can't take away from the harm it's done, but I do believe that that there is good, or at least a brightness that you can find for it if you do implement some more self-care. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I don't know if I don't know that without COVID that I would have taken the time to look at all this. I mean, we kind of have worked the same through COVID, but just seeing other people, and seeing what some people are going through, and trying to keep yourself as healthy as possible, so that hopefully if you do get it, you're able to make it through, and you're able to stay strong through it, and recover from it. I think having a good mental outlook on things helps a lot. And I think that is what has been pulling me into trying to look at myself. And not only that, but I'm surrounded, like I said, I watch YouTube a lot. I'm surrounded now in that way by all these people who are doing that. And maybe they have a closer work at home life than I do. We work from home, but I can also come to the store and I can work here, and I can have some separation, but not everyone's been able to do that. And so watching all these other people who are being more self-aware and self-caring has led me to realize that I've not been doing that for the past 10 years or so. I've just been working as hard as we can and until we're worn out, and then, hoping to get some rest sometime, maybe in there somewhere. But yeah, I think that is an aspect of COVID that it has given us. It hasn't given us. We've taken let's give us the power, right? COVID hasn't given us anything. We've taken the opportunity to look at ourselves and care for ourselves a little more. I think that's a better way to kind of phrase it, because I don't like giving other things the power, right? I think words mean something, and I think COVID has, we've been able to take from that to be more self-caring. Sandra says, I think COVID has made people realize what's important. I do. I think that's, again, I think we've taken that opportunity to look and examine things and realize what's important. COVID is something that happened to us, and is still happening to us, but I think we can choose, how to look at it in some cases. Now, there are some cases, like I know people have lost people, and you can't look at that in any way but sadness, really. Um, and and I feel bad for everyone who has lost somebody. But I think there are, we can take what we can take out of it, and sometimes we can take better things and things that we can improve upon in ourselves from events like that. I hope that comes across right. Um, I don't want to minimize the harm that COVID has done, because it certainly has done a lot. But I think in the midst of bad times, I think the only thing we can do to keep ourselves, going sometimes, is to take out whatever we can and use whatever we can make good of that. Let's see here. My in-laws in Connecticut were not able to get together for Christmas because my nephew came down with COVID. He is vaxxed and teaches and probably got it from a student. He's fine coming out of quarantine this week. Good. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I think, we've learned a lot about each other through COVID, I think. I think it has not necessarily helped the division that we're experiencing, especially if you're in the US. I think there's a lot of division over the past few years politically. I think people are politicizing COVID too much. COVID doesn't care. It doesn't care where you stand on what side of what, you know, whatever political party you're with. It doesn't care. So I think that's a shame. I think that's a shame that it's been politicized like that. But we've had a lot of division, I think, in our country lately. And I really hope that through all this I hope people take the chance to do this self inspection and, what is introspection, and really, find what's important to you. And, hopefully realize that, at some point we are one country and we are one world and we are one people. We have a lot of different customs. We have a lot of different, ways of being. But we're all here together. And Marianne says, I found some wonderful new friends. And I hope that, more people can say that in the end of this. And more people can realize that that's what it's about. That's what living, period, is about, right? You have to make your friends. You have to, try to make your life good. I always think about this a lot, and that, I'm not religious, so I pretty much believe that life happened in this vast universe that there is, in these many, many, solar systems that there are, or galaxies. We're in the Milky Way. There are others. There's probably other life out there, whether it looks like us or not, who knows? But we just happen to be here, right? That's the way I feel about it. I don't believe there's necessarily any divine purpose on it. And it's fine if you do. I just don't. I believe we came. I don't know how we got here. I've never settled that in my mind. The divine could be a possibility. I just don't necessarily believe that. I believe that somehow we got here and we evolved to where we are. And so we're on a rock spinning through the universe, and we have, as a people, as a civilization, we have decided what rules we have to follow. None of these were necessarily given to us by anything. We came up with these. Our civilizations, our societies are built on these rules that we have set for ourselves, right? It could have been anything. We could have set any rule. We could have, we could be using, other currencies. We could have no currency. We could just have a barter system. Like, all of these things could have come to be. We just happen to be in this one. That's what I believe. And so I think that we have to kind of keep, like, I try to keep that in my mind. Like, we have decided this, right? We have decided this is how our culture is going to be. And, it, like I said, it could have been thousands and thousands of different ways and different. So we're just here. We're doing this because we've decided we're doing this, right? And we're just all here together, just trying to live, just trying to be. And I think it's important that we try and keep that in mind. There's only the pressure that we put on ourselves, I guess. And through society, we've put certain pressures on ourselves, that we could change as a society if we want to, if we really try to. And I think part of COVID and part of this all happening is creating this kind of sweeping effect of a lot of people trying to make some of these changes. And so being able to work from home, or having the option to some days work from home, or doing a 4-day work week instead of a 5, or, trying to put more emphasis on ourselves. And, the US, for as great of a country, I think we're a great country. But we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to work. We have 2 weeks of vacation, most people, in an entire year. Whereas if you go to Europe, for example, they generally get 4 or 5 weeks per year at least. And so we really put our pressure on ourselves to work hard. And that's a big thing in the whole American dream, is to work hard. And I think we're kind of coming to a point where we're realizing that there has to be some enjoyment in that too. There has to be some personal time. And I do hope we get to that point. And I hope that people realize that work is not all that life is about. As a society, we've made work very important. But, we could have a totally different life if we really wanted to. It may not be, it may not always be better. You may choose something that's worse. This probably is not the worst kind of life we could have as a society. But, I kind of think of those things sometimes. And Marion says, we are not alone, however you want to see that. And yeah, I think there's a universe out there that we can't even see all of it, right? You could never see all of it. There has to be something else out there. We're not, I don't believe that people are the reason the universe exists. And I'm listening to this book called Ishmael, and it kind of talks a lot about this. And it really came at a time when I'm kind of thinking about these things. I don't know if you've read the book Ishmael. It won a major award and financial award, for being a book that could help change, help people see change. And so so far I'm only on chapter 4 or 5, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's really kind of pinpointing some of these things. So if you're interested in any of this stuff I'm talking about now, I would highly recommend checking that out, at least from what I've read of it so far or listened to it so far. But it's told from the point of view of a gorilla who is very intelligent, who has learned to speak telepathically. And it really brings about points about how, we believe as people generally that a lot of times that the earth was put here for us, and the solar system is here for us, and we are here to conquer the earth or to make it our way. When really, I don't necessarily believe that. I believe we just happen to be here and we're doing things to the earth that, that we want to do, whether it's good or not. And so it talks about, even one point, it talks about if you told the history of man, right? And jellyfish told the history of jellyfish, jellyfish would believe that the earth was here for them, right? So it's an interesting book so far. So if you like that kind of thing that I'm talking about, or kind of talking about here, I would recommend checking it out. Ishmael. I can't think of the author's name. Let me tell you. That's another thing I'm bad at, is remembering authors' names. But it is David Quinn. David Quinn. Ishmael by Daniel. I'm sorry, Daniel Quinn. Really like it. Really enjoyed it. Have any of you out there read it yet? Let me know if you have. And if you've had any thoughts on it. Like I said, I've only gotten to chapter 5 so far, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. But I was watching this one YouTuber who I believe is from Iceland, I want to say. Maybe Iceland, maybe Finland. Can't remember. But after reading that book, it was one of those, he did a YouTube video on his 5 most important books in his life so far. And that was the most important one. He actually gave up most everything in his life, moved to a cabin out in the woods where he pretty much, he's out in the middle of snow. Where he lives, there's a lot of snow. And he bathes out in the snow. Like, everything is done there. If he wants to take a shower, he has to do it in the cold ice water of the lake that's nearby. Like, it was that significant. That book was that significant to him in showing him how society has, dictated how things should be. And once he read that, he realized that's not what he wanted to be a part of anymore. And I don't know if I could ever go that far. I like my technology a lot. So, though he's broadcasting from YouTube and has a YouTube channel, so I don't think that's always a whole part of it. But it was so important to him, and it struck a chord with me. So I wanted to read it. So I got it. I got it as an audiobook, and I've been listening to it in between some of my podcasts on my drives, and I'm really enjoying it. So he says, that sounds fascinating. Thank you for talking about it. Hey, I'm just here to chat, and I know not everything I say will resonate with anyone out there. I know that, but these Let's Chats, I'll chat about anything, and this is just what I'm doing in my life right now. So let's see. Susan says, my late brother's last project was the James Webb Satellite Telescope. It finally launched early Christmas morning. That's awesome. It will potentially bring us images from vast areas of space. We'll be looking at our distant past. That's awesome. I also do I watch a lot of YouTube videos, science videos about time and past and future, and whether they're actually, whether they're the kind of the same thing, or whether we could go back to the past, or how time actually works. It's really interesting stuff. Suzanne says, I'm not doing anything that extreme. I don't think I'll be doing anything that extreme either. I have this dream of having a tiny house in the middle of the woods, or a cabin in the middle of the woods. And we do have our cottage. That's more Andrew's studio. I'll have a place in it, but I've always dreamt of having a writing cabin in the middle of the woods. Just a place where I can go and kind of journal and, take pictures and just kind of meditate and recuperate. So hopefully someday, maybe I'll have that, but I don't plan on giving up my whole life, my whole societal life. I don't think. We'll see. Maybe by the end of this book, I'll have changed my mind. But the book has offered some food for thought, and I like that. Susan says, how wonderful about Susan's brother. I am thankful for people like your brother. He will forever teach the world. How amazing is that? That is really good. It really is true. Suzanne's been reading more nonfiction and enjoying it. That's awesome. I mainly read nonfiction. It's hard for me to get into a fiction book, although I found a few, but I do like nonfiction, but mostly about science and nature. And I love talking about the mind and the brain and how how that all works. Marianne says parallel universes. I watch videos about them too. I do. How they're talking about physics being and all that happening and actually being a real thing. Who knows? Who knows how time works? Who knows how everything works, right? I don't know how we got here. I don't know why we're here. I don't know. I don't know what else is there. You know, there are, you know, we don't see part of the color spectrum. We don't see ultraviolet light. We don't see infrared. Who knows what's out there that we don't see, and what energy is out there, and all that kind of stuff, whether it's a parallel universe, whether it's right here in front of us all the time, but we just don't see it. It's interesting things. Marcy says, I would like to live more remotely, but still have access to tech and utilities. Yes, I agree. You know, I think tech can be good and tech can be bad. And I think it's just how you use it and what you use it for. And if you recycle it, or you hand it down to somebody who's going to use it, I think there's a lot of rare earth minerals and things that go into, phone production and these tablets and computers. And I think as time goes on, we will find ways to recycle those more than we are. And we already have found ways to do a lot of that. But I do think it's important that when we are taking natural resources, that we can use them and reuse them as much as we can. I think just trying to be good citizens of the earth, right? Let's see here. Marcy's been reading about strong women: Frida, Jane Fonda, Michelle Obama, RBG. Yeah, that's good. I think that's very good. I think that's something that's needed in right now, especially with I don't want to get too political, but I think y'all know on what side I fall on. And with all these, abortion laws and things that are happening, I think it's very needed that people see there are strong women, and women are just as strong as men. And there really should be no difference. There really should be, I don't want to say no difference. I just think that people need to realize that women can make their own choices, right? I think that's what it comes down to. In a lot of ways, in a lot of realms, in a lot of places, women aren't given that opportunity, or aren't given that chance, or that is actually being taken away from them. And I think it's good to remind ourselves that there are strong women out there, but every woman is strong, right? You have to be. I think in the society that we've created, going back to what I talked about, we've created this male-dominated, white-dominated society, especially here in the US. It's not the case everywhere. But we've created this society, and it doesn't have to be this way. There's no reason why it has to specifically be this way. It's just what we've done. And I think it's good to remind ourselves of that. And it's good to remember that we've just been doing this because this is what we've done, and it can change, and we can change it. And that's kind of where I'm at in my head too. Let's see. Marianne's talking about the light spectrum. We only see about 7% of the total spectrum. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. So when my cats are looking at things that I don't know what they're looking at, they're probably seeing other things. I don't know if cats can see infrared or not, but I feel like when I use a remote control for the TV, I feel like they can see that. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I've never read up on what science thinks the cats can see. But I do feel like when I use remote controls, they're like, they're like seeing it zip across, or, so I don't know. But yeah, I do that. Sylvia says, I don't have equipment to listen to audiobooks. Do you think the concepts of Ishmael would be easy to understand in written form versus audiobook? Yeah, it's also a regular book and you can read it. The person I watched read it, and he ended up in a cabin out in the middle of the snow. But maybe it's better understood that way. But many phones right now can do audiobooks. I don't know what you're watching this on, but like I know Apple Books, if you have an Apple computer, even an old one, or relatively, I mean, it has to be relatively new, but if you have a phone or a tablet or a lot of those, you can download audiobooks. But if you don't have that ability, then yeah, you can read the book. I think it might actually be easier to understand, because there are a lot of times I find myself rewinding it and going back and re-listening to a part of it just so that it sinks in. But I'm also bad. I get very distracted very easily. As you can probably see on this, as I can't remember some of the things I start talking about or where I'm going with things. But I do think you could definitely read it and be fine reading it. I think so, Sylvia. Marianne says, we all have value. Yes, we do, right? And we need to remember that. But we also have to remember that we don't have any more value than the person next to us. And I think that's where, I think in the US, we're kind of falling short of that right now, especially politically. We tend to think that we have better ideas than the person sitting next to us. When really, in doing that, I think we are polarizing each other. We're pushing each other even further into our own way of being. And we're not seeing the other person's point of view. We're not seeing it from any other side. But we have to, I think, remember that we all have value, and we're all coming from a place, we don't just make up things generally because we want to make up things. There's generally a reason why somebody believes something. And I've not walked in that person's shoes. I've not lived that person's life. And a lot of times, a lot of our hardest, points that we take, or hardest decisions we make, come from trauma, right? A lot of things that we seem to, grab onto and hold onto are coming out of trauma or coming from trauma. And I think that's why some of us, I know I do it. I hold on to certain beliefs because that's what kept me going, right? And I think this whole taking time to really search yourself and this self-care hopefully can take the time to release some of that and to think about why that may not be the same for someone else. And I think that's important to realize. There are some things that I think, should be just universally accepted, but that's me. I think women should be able to make their own decisions about their bodies. That's me. You may not feel that way. You may feel that women need to be regulated in certain ways, even if you are a woman. And I'm sure you have a reason for believing that. I'm not a woman, so I default to women should be able to make their own choice because I shouldn't speak for anyone. But that's why I default to that. And that's kind of, the way I feel and the way I look at things. If I don't have a part to play, then it should be up to the people who do, right? And that's the way I've kind of always grown up. And I've always been taught that if it's none of your business, don't make it your business, right? You got enough things to worry about. Let's see. Marcy says, I grew up in a time where a law was finally passed where black and white can marry enduring Roe. So strong women drive me. I believe that, and I totally understand that. That's another thing. Interracial marriage. If you don't have a part to play in someone else's marriage, don't worry about it. That's the way I believe. Like, if they want to get married, let them get married. There's nothing wrong with two adults who want to get married getting married. And I don't understand why people have issues with some of that stuff, but that's kind of the way I am. But other people have different ways of thinking, and even though I don't believe that way, they have their reasons for believing that and for thinking that way. And we have to make room to at least hear that, I think, at least see that, because if you can't understand why somebody thinks some way, you have no chance of guiding them in a different direction, right? If you can't understand where the core of the issue is, you're never going to, guide someone in any other direction or let them see any other point of view. And I think that's important. Marianne says the political blame game can get ridiculous. It certainly can. Certainly can. So he says, oh yeah, I can download on my tablet if I decide to go the audio route. Yeah, you can download audiobooks. Andrew uses Audible. The Audible that he uses is actually under my email, so I don't actually use it. So I download, because I'm an Apple person, so I download on Apple Books, the books, and for about the price or even less than he spends on Audible. He gets 2 per year, or per month. But I can pretty much get a book or so. So I didn't join up for another subscription. I just buy them as I see something I like. That way I'm not locked in again to those subscriptions. But yeah, you can, anything. I'm sure that book is everywhere right now, whether it's Audible or books or whatever I think Google has a bookstore too, maybe. I don't know. Marion says, remember, we all fight battles that others know nothing about, so be kind. Absolutely. That's the thing. You may not believe what someone else believes. You may not like the way they believe. But you still should try and be kind to people, I think. I think so. I'm a peacekeeper, though, generally. So I'm trying to get away from that a little bit, because I have realized that it's great to have the ability to be a peacekeeper, but to be a peacekeeper all the time means you never usually assert the way you feel, and you don't actually get to demonstrate or feel how you feel, because you're constantly trying to keep the peace. And there's always, in keeping the peace, there is always something that has to be held back. There are always compromises. And being a peacekeeping person, if you are one of those out there, you probably understand what I'm saying. You're not actually your full self a lot of the time. So I'm trying to, kind of realize that as a peacekeeper, there's a time for that, but there's also a time to stand up and say, wait, stop, no. Like, I'm very bad with no. I'm very, very bad with the word no. I'm not good at using it. And I'm trying to learn more to use it, rather than just try and kind of keep the peace, because sometimes the peace needs to be rattled a little bit, right? So yeah, everyone's fighting their own battles. Be kind, but there are also times to stand up and defend yourself or speak your mind as well. All right, well, that's almost been 2 hours. That's crazy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if I will keep this video up. I talk a lot about how I personally feel in these Let's Chats. And while that's all well and good, we try and keep the business, generally non-political and, kind of. I mean, we still donate to certain organizations and not to others. And so we kind of do, but we try not to be too, overbearing in any way on these. So sometimes I delete these Let's Chat videos afterwards, because I don't know that I feel like the value in them is the hanging out with you all and chatting in real time. I don't know that there's as much value in them after the fact. So we'll see if this stays up or not, but I love hanging out with you all. And as Susan said, she said, thank you. I needed this. I enjoyed this. There are days when I feel like I need it too. And I know I do most of the talking, but I try and go off of what you all are saying and kind of relate it back to my life, and I hope that's okay. Um, I think there are days that we just need to sit down and chat with one another and just, kind of, if you have something to say, it gives you a place to say it. And I think that's important, especially in a time when a lot of people probably feel like they don't get a chance to say things or they're not being heard. And so that's why I think it's important to do these. And I hope that you feel heard when we do these too. So he says, this chat time was fabulous. Thank you, William, and everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Balance would be a good word of the year, right? Some people really need that. Lovely chat, says Marianne. Thank you so much. Susan says, when my mom was alive, I got her a Kindle. I told her the books were free. She read books all of the time. I would come home from work and she would tell me she needed a new book. I missed that. Yeah, there are certain things, right? I get that. I get that. There are certain things with my grandparents that come up like that, and I miss that. My grandmother always read this. It was an Amish book series, and she never really talked about it too much, but every once in a while you just see her reading one, or my aunt usually bought them for her daughter. And since we worked in this, my aunt and I work at the same place, you'd see the books come in and it's another book for Graham. So I get that there are certain things that just really, sometimes are harder, right? But they would want us to carry on, right? They would definitely want us to carry on. All right. So Happy New Year, everyone. I'm sure I'll see you by then, probably. I don't know how these lives are going to be this week. We have a few things going on. And like I said, I'm trying to get some downtime this week. So if you don't see us from the lives, don't worry, we're okay. But we may cancel some of the lives this week just with everything happening. But if we don't see you before then, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope your new year is what you need it to be. I'll say that. You want to wish everyone well. You want to say have a great new year. Some people don't need a great new year. They need a helpful new year, or they need, a quiet new year. So I hope that your new year is everything that you need it to be in 2022. And I will say, this is the one plug I'm going to give. We're going to have a sale coming up in the email newsletter coming up for the new year. So if you'd like to get in on that, make sure you sign up for our email list. That's at allegorygallery.com. Go to the bottom of any page in the footer, plug your email in there. And coming up in the new year, we're going to have a small sale. So if you'd like to get in on that, please do. Andrew's artwork will not be on sale. That is the one thing that is excluded from the sale. So I wanted to do that because I don't want anyone angry if they buy a heart now and they say, I could have waited a few days. It's not going to be on sale. But the gemstones, the kits, pretty much everything else but Andrew's artwork will be on sale. And you'll get all the details in that in an email come the new year. But you have to be on the email newsletter list to get that. So do sign up for that if you want that. And yeah. Let's see here. Everyone's Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Phone's dying, Marianne. Have a good night to you too. Thank you, Susan, for hanging out and chatting with us. A good evening to everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Marcy says, nice talking to you all. Say hello to Andrew for me. Love his painting. Oh, and thanks for the brick stitch video. Yeah, he's been doing those. A lot of people seem to be loving the seed bead videos. So if you need seed beads, a lot of the beads that he's using in those videos we have in stock or will be bringing into stock. So if you need them, let us know. All right. Pam says, Sal, did you say Sal? I just got here. Yeah, if you are on, I'll say it one more time. I don't like these Let's Chat. I like them to be just chatting, but a little bit of business. In the new year, I have an email scheduled to go out for the new year. Just a quick one, but it's going to give you a coupon code to use for the online store. Now, it's only good in the online store, not the physical store. We will be closed in the physical store for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But during that time, we will have an email going out to give a small sale. It's a small sale. And so if you want to get in on that and get the details for that, please do sign up for the email newsletter. Just go to allegorygallery.com. Let me throw that up here real quick. I know spelling it sometimes is hard. Allegorygallery.com. Go to the very bottom of our page, any page on the website, and you'll be able to plug your email address in for the email newsletter. So you can definitely get in on that. It will only be going out to the email newsletter people. So check your spam folders after midnight on New Year's Day. It's going right out at midnight, 12 a.m. on New Year's Day. You should get this email. So it may take a little while because I'm sure a lot of people will be sending emails at the same time. But this email will go out then. So be sure to check it out if you're on the email list. And you'll have a coupon code there to save some money off of some stuff. All right. So thank you again, everyone. Happy New Year. If I don't see you before then, I hope that 2022 is what you need it to be. And my Siri just started talking to me. I hope your 2022 is what you need it to be, whatever you need it to be. And we'll see you probably here before then, maybe not. If not, we'll see you in the new year. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful, wonderful time until then. Bye now.